All right, everyone. Good day, good morning. Today is Thursday, November 19th. Today is actually my birthday. Not that I give two shits, honestly. Care more about working, to be quite frank. But this is not Chick-fil-A, by the way. This is actually a Bang to get me jump started in my brain. So that's kind of my drink of choice. So yesterday, a little recap. You guys saw that I was on the phone all day yesterday for what I was filming for was about 4 hours of filming, and that was of me making phone calls, of me connecting with people over LinkedIn and my network already. What I did do, what we did as a team, myself and IT and all that, we actually went ahead and did a campaign a few months ago for getting writers in. So what we've done is yesterday, for example, as you guys saw, I was on the phone with a lot of people. I think I spoke with about 40 different individuals yesterday, and that's not including on LinkedIn either. So literally that's all I was doing yesterday. I got up, came back, got up, came back, and that's what I do. I'm a walk and talk type of person. That's the way my brain operates in general. So, for those of you that don't think that it's a great idea for you to be able to walk and talk, and for those of you out there that are in sales that think that you need to just sit in a chair. If you're dealing with somebody that's got ADD and or ADHD or even both, like I do, I have both. I can't speak for everybody with the condition, but for me personally, I operate so much better if I just am able to walk and talk. It's so much better of a conversation. That's just the way that it is for me. And I know a lot of other guys that that I've trained as well. Some people are the same. Some people are not the same at all. So for me, I let them know, if you need to walk and talk, go for it. I understand, because I'm the same way. Now, for those of you that it can sit down and talk with people, then that's great. Good for you. I'm not that type of person, but if that works for you, everybody's got their different flavors of Kool-Aid, so, drink whatever flavor is the best for you. Drink it how you see fit. So today, going to go over I'm going to do more work today. Today, however, is going to be a little different. So I am actually going to go ahead and call investors for a real estate fund that I do work with as well. So right now, for my insurance business, it's we have everything going on online right now. Like, everything's already going. So we have the writers. That was for yesterday. I was like an octopus yesterday. I had things going on everywhere. So that's just kind of how it went. So today is going to be more streamlined, more structured. I'm just going to be calling people for this real estate fund to raise capital for that company. Just to let you guys know, so no shady stuff is going on. This company is called Strategic Holdings. They are a private placement, but you have to be qualified as an accredited investor in order to actually invest. Now, they're already paying a dividend that's paid on the first of every month. And the company actually already owns about 18 different apartment buildings, and they're all located over in the southeast part of the nation. So it's in several different states, but the fact is they're already paying investors. So that's even better. So I'm not really going to go into any of the details. At least you guys know what that's going to be about. That's what I'm doing today. And today is really just for the intent to show you guys of exactly what it is that I'm doing every day. I'm trying to be better about doing this vlog stuff. Take it on from there, basically. So I think I'm actually on a week long right now on a vlog. Enough talking for you guys, that is. I'm going to go ahead and start work. And at least I've been able to give you a little recap on what's going on today. And we'll go take it on from there. Alright everyone, so just like I was saying in the last video, this is obviously the continued video from the initial video that I put out of this vlog, which is going to be more of your phone sales type of task.
Now, whenever you're doing phone sales in general, like I said in the last video, you want to make sure that you know exactly what your product is about that you're selling, what the type of returns, if it's type of a investment. You want to make sure that you know exactly of how the function of the investment works, how the ownership is, and that you don't skip the beat. But also that, let's say you don't know something, then don't go out of line and say whatever, like basically pull something out of your ass. You do not ever want to do that with a client or even a prospect, because at that point you're just going to ruin your own long-term credibility whenever you tell someone something that does not pertain to what the situation is. Let's say if your investment fund is paying out 8% per year, let's just say that for example. That's not great returns. It's okay, but that's not great returns. But let's say that in reality speaking, you are pulling in and you are giving your partners back about 11.2% annual back to them. But you don't know that. So at the end of the day, you're saying 8%. Well, most of the time what's going to happen is that even though you set a lesser number than what the actual number is, then you're going to lose credibility because you might have sounded very so compelling and so sure of yourself that now whenever you go back to that said prospect or client in general and tell them, hey Joe, yeah, it's actually not 8%, it's actually going to be that 11.2%. Even though it is a better number and a better return, more than likely you're going to lose that said partner potentially because you were never actually truthful from the get-go because you didn't know all about what your product was. Now, whenever you're calling out to people, the number one thing that I've always seen is that people sound like a robot whenever they're reading from a script. For me personally, I don't read from a script. I don't believe in reading from a script. What I personally believe in, and all of you can kind of take away from this what you will, this is my advice to you, is make sure you absolutely know about your product. Once again, I cannot stress that enough. You can make a guidance and make some cliff notes for yourself, but have your conversations be so free-flowing that you do not sound scripted and you do not sound like a robot, because that moment that you do sound like a robot, the prospect that you're speaking with is going to understand that you sound like a robot. Therefore, they're not going to ever want to do business with you because they do not want to be on the phone with someone who doesn't know everything about it. So this literally goes back to understanding what your product is actually about. Also, your tone of voice and your confidence is also going to be another huge selling point. These guys that I'm calling get a crazy amount of phone calls per week. Screw per day, but per week. So if you can actually decipher, or really not even just decipher, but if you can make a difference of your phone call versus everybody else's phone calls that come in to these people, set a difference to these people, and I promise you, all day long, you will prevail. You will get more deals in as long as you sound meaningful, confident, and you know what you're talking about.
All right, sorry. So basically, you guys get to see what's going on real time, and I think that's really cool because you literally get to see literally what is going on in the background. So, on the podcast, you don't get to really see what's going on. Obviously, you just hear talking about it, but I think this is kind of cool. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, start getting some work done, and you guys are gonna see another time lapse of me going ahead and getting my grind on. So with that said, here we go.
So whenever you're making these calls, you definitely want to have a list that going on that you can actually refer to. You can hand dial. For me, I personally like to hand dial, just because whenever you use any type of CRM, what I have found is that there's a lag. Now, whenever you're doing phone sales, a lag is never a good thing, because whenever that person, like, I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching this video, that when you get a spam phone call, it's going to take about 2 to 4 seconds if someone's using some type of CRM and they're calling from that CRM. What's going to happen is that lag time, you're going to hang up because there's no response in that 2 or 4 seconds. So whenever you use, let's say for me, I just hand dial all the phone numbers for myself. So whenever someone answers the phone, it's not even a second that I respond and I introduce myself and what company I'm calling from, etc., etc. That is absolutely imperative whenever you are calling people, because once again, you have to treat others the way you'd like to be treated. We've learned this back in kindergarten, and the same thing, the same rule applies to our daily lives. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated, and that's the way this whole thing goes. Also, you get more bees with honey. So if you guys have never heard of that saying before, it's one of those things that you want to treat, again, with that past saying, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Treat people with respect and you will get respect. And if you treat the situation with, you get more bees with honey, even if a person, man or woman, is being a complete asshole to you over the phone, don't be an asshole back. There's no reason for it. Just stay your ground, still be friendly, and kill them with kindness. More than likely, if they are being an asshole in some way, form, or fashion, and you are literally just having a regular conversation with them, then you're going to prevail and the conversation is going to prevail. But never be afraid to stand your ground. Let's say, for example, if someone tells you, oh, I get all these phone calls just like this every single day, feel free to go ahead and say something against that. Say, well, if they have not allowed you to really say exactly what it is that you're talking about, then let them know. Say, well, sir, I haven't even been able to let you know what the investment fund is, or I haven't even been able to let you know what I'm actually calling you about. So if I were you, I definitely would not assume. So a lot of these guys, they will assume, and a lot of them will think that their shit don't stink. Well, that's just that's just one of those type of egotistic mentalities that these guys have in general. And what I'm specifically talking about is if you're trying to raise capital for a private company or a startup company, whatever the case it is, more than likely you're going to be calling accredited people. Once again, accredited people are people who have made at least $200,000 or more for the last 2 years, and they expect to make the same for the years to come. Another qualification is that they have $1 million or more in assets, excluding their primary residence. And there's one more, I forgot exactly what that one is, but I know the two most used qualifications for an accredited investor is going to be the first two I've stated. So with the money that they make per year, or the assets that they have excluding their primary residence. That's excluding their primary residence. But going back to it, you guys, whenever someone is being an asshole to you, make sure that if you haven't been able to go through the presentation or even introduce to them exactly the reason why you were calling, make sure you say it, but don't say it in a dickish way. Say it in an informative way that's going to allow them to get really the butterflies in their stomach, that you're not trying to do anything screwy with them, that you are trying to introduce something to them that is going to help out their investment portfolio in some way, form, or fashion. And let's say that they're being completely illogical and unreasonable. Well, you can't fix that. You can't do anything about that. So if you are able to just move as far as the phone call will go before that said person hangs up on you, then at least you know that you did everything in your power to keep that person on board on the phone that entire time. That's what you absolutely want to make sure that you do. They can say and do whatever, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to get your point across. These are investments. The only way, and don't be afraid to call these people, because the only way they can ever get onto the deal in the first place is if they get an invite, and that invite is by a phone call only, because you cannot go online and massively spam these people in general. You just can't do that. That's not how these work. So that's why in this it's considered phone sales, which, you know, if any of you have ever heard of phone sales before, you can make an insane amount of money in it, but you can also do it. Make sure, at least for me, make sure that you are selling people onto a sound investment if that's what kind of comes your way. So definitely make sure that the investment is sound before you start calling out to people like that.
Good day. It is Sunday, I think November 21st. Went ahead and heading to the track today. Should be fun. We were gonna go yesterday, but ended up not, because there was an event going on, and me personally, I don't really like to be around a whole bunch of people. That's just, again, kind of my deal. So yeah, I don't really like being around a crazy amount of people, and kind of the whole scene that, you know, that some of the tracks bring people about. Not really my scene. See, the last time I went over to, or I think a few weekends ago when we went, you know, it was like semi-packed, not really like too much at least, but the fact of it still stands is that, you know, I got there not even 5 seconds out of the truck and someone was already like running their mouth. I'm like, dude, like this is the literal reason why I don't like being around a whole bunch of people, just because, like, you know, someone always has something to say pretty much no matter what it is. So basically how it goes. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and load the bikes up, or load this girl up right here, and then start heading out. It's raining people.